Hey students, welcome to week 6 and our first exam in this farm management course. What I want to do in this video is go over your weeks and try to pull out content for you to give you just tips of how to get ready for the test. I also want to go over the test a little bit with you, format wise, even kind of show you some of the test, hopefully get you started. So let's take a look at the weeks. All right, so here I am. I'm in your Blackboard session for the class. Except I'm in mine, so you're going to see stuff that's hidden for you right now, but it shows you kind of what's coming. All right, really with week 1, I wouldn't worry a whole lot about that at all. We just kind of talked about the syllabus and the class. Really, your content for the test starts in week number 2. So in week number 2, we talked about this idea of chart of accounts, and we talked about debits and credits. Now that's a very important part to hopefully make sure that you get right. And so that is something really to focus on for the week. Also, I've got a homework here that you did. I will add a key to that. So that way you will have the key right there as well. And so, in fact, let me look. I think in week 3, I actually put the key in there. So you've got your key right there in week 3 to what that homework was about. So let me go back. So in week 2, it was about introduction to debits and credits, and that is a fairly consistent portion on the test. So you want to make sure you get that right. There is that homework, but then you go to the next week, excuse me, week 3, and there is the key to that. So you want to make sure that you take a look at that. All right, now once we're in week 3, it's about the income statement. And so there are something called an accrual adjustment. This video is important. Make sure that you watch this. And my advice for you is as you watch these videos that I'm pointing to, take notes on a piece of paper. That way you've got kind of written notes. Whenever you take the test, you might be tempted to go back and just look at all of these links and try to watch the video to answer a particular question. And you can get that done because you can open a window like this in one window and the exam in another. However, if you do that, it's going to take quite a bit of time. So the idea would be to kind of try to have a plan beforehand. You can always go and look at these if you're not sure, but if you take some notes, that would be my advice. So here on accrual adjustments, it's a very specific content, and there is questions on the test that relate to it. There's an overall summary of the income statement, idea about gross margin and cost of goods sold, and then how to use Excel to organize this. That's not really something you're going to get on the test. So my advice for this week would be to focus on those 3 videos right there. Also in this week, we've got an income statement analysis. It talks about how to review an income statement. That is also going to be an important part of some slides that you could get. Now these slides may be easier for you just to print out the set of slides and have that as a set of notes. All right, let's go down here and also look at the discussion that I ask. This discussion is a question that's very similar to a test question. So let's talk about it. It's something you want to make sure that you look at. And this week we talked about ending inventory. So when you end the year of a business, you keep up usually with what products have been produced but not yet sold. So here's an example that in our business, it has 85,000 in beginning inventory. So we started the year with 85,000. When we get to the end of the year, we end with 92,000. So that means that we grew our inventory by about $7,000. 85,000 to 92 would be $7,000 more dollars. Now that is items that we produced but did not sell. So when we're doing our net adjustment to correctly report, what adjustment is needed? Well, the answer is that we would have a addition to sales of 7,000 called change in inventory. That way our business sold product, whatever it sold, we don't know, it's no longer in inventory. We produced it and sold it. But we produced more than we started with, so we need to add that extra $7,000 to our income, and that is an example of an accrual adjustment. The formula is you take ending inventory, which in this case is 92,000, minus beginning inventory, which is 85,000, and you get a positive 7. So that means that you would add $7,000 to your sales as what's called a accrual adjustment, or net adjusted when needed. It's called an accrual adjustment. All right, so hopefully this helps, but that's what you're going to get out of week 3. All right, let's go to week 4. Week 4 starts to talk in detail about the balance sheet. And so when you come to week 4, you're going to see a set of PDF slides. Once again, I'd be tempted to print these slides out, and that way you've got them right there. Now, I've also got a video that talks about the balance sheet, and so I would take some additional notes from that. Now, when we go through here, we want to look at some of the questions that are asked, because these are good ones. So let's see here. What are the 3 categories of the balance sheet, and what types of assets and liabilities and what kind of equity sections are there? What time period does the balance sheet cover? This is a test type question, so let me go over it with you. 3 categories of the balance sheet are assets, and they equal liabilities plus equity. What are the 2 types of assets? Assets can be what's called current assets. In other words, they're short-term liquid assets. Non-current assets is the second category. What about liabilities? That's the debts that we owe. There's 2 categories of those as well. Current liabilities and non-current liabilities. And then finally, equity is the other section. There's 2 sections of that, and that is called retained earnings or investor capital. And retained earnings is all of our net incomes added together. Investor capital is new money coming in that people invest in our business. What time period does the balance sheet represent? It represents the entire life of our business. It doesn't really represent a year like an income statement. All right, so that's a particular question I want to make sure that you look at. All right, let's go on to week 5. Week 5 is about analysis. Now, week 5 has got some videos here, and each one of these actually offers some help, except for number 5. The Khan Academy was just some extra information there, so I probably would ignore it. To get ready for the test, I would watch videos 1 through 4 and take notes. What's the key for this is the formulas. There are formulas for, and then I have a discussion here that we had in this week, but the formulas are going to be for return on assets and return on equity and how those are calculated, and those are listed right there. If you will just get those formulas written down, when you get to the test, that's what the test is asking you to do, is to know those formulas. And then apply them in some cases. All right, so this is all in your test review. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the test itself and show you what it's gonna look like. These are multiple choice questions that you will get. Multiple choice questions, for example, which of the following describes the common balance for liabilities? Liabilities are a credit. So those are going to be the way the questions are going to come at you. Some of these questions get a little bit longer here towards the bottom, where you've got to go search through these answers, but hopefully it's something that you can use to get ready for the test. Let's see, where did you guys go with farm management? Current courses. All right, so here we are with farm management. All right, so hopefully this gives you kind of a summary of the test. Now let's talk about the test itself. The test can cover the weeks 1 through 5. There's 30 questions, which I already showed you in the multiple choice format. Here's the important stuff. This test opens this Thursday at 8 a.m., closes at 10 p.m. on the same day. So you have 90 minutes to take it. Now, the way I've organized this test a little bit differently, the test questions will come up one at a time. You will research that question and answer it. Once you save it, you cannot go back and alter it. The questions will come up random. So if you're trying to take it with somebody else, you're going to have a hard time getting through those and trying to borrow each other's questions. It's not going to work well, so don't try to even do it. The best approach is to have your printed out PowerPoints that I've told you, to have your notes put together that I've suggested, and be ready for the questions as you take them. You can open up the test in a new window, and you can get to these other areas if you need to go look around. So it's kind of like an open book test. But if that's your strategy, it's going to take too long. So try not to get that done. Try to have an outline of notes and ready to go. And then you might link back to something if you're just not sure. Once you begin the test, you cannot stop. You've got to complete the test. It needs to be done by the deadline. All right, hopefully this video helps you see how to get ready for the test, some tips, how it's going to be formatted, and hopefully you can be ready for it. Today is Tuesday. If you need additional information or help, reach out Wednesday and let me know, or later today, and I can try to give you some help and guidance. Once the test begins, I won't really answer any questions because it may be about the test that you're taking at that time. So hopefully you can get this test completed and have a good grade. Hopefully this video helps you. That was the main goal. Thanks.